Well, I'm going to talk about figs right now. So this is the Desert King fig. Now figs are trees, but I like to grow them more as bushes. So you can see this tree is what, about 9 feet tall. But I can just pull the branches down to me and reach every single fig. So I don't have to use any ladders or anything. So remember that figs are grown from cuttings. They're not grafted. So we can allow them to be, like this plant, a multi-stemmed bush with figs even on these low branches. In fact, you can see where we've had to prop some of the branches to keep them from touching the ground, and because they're so loaded. And this tree has not been irrigated one time this year. It is now, around the 20th of August, and I haven't watered it once. And we've had, in the past month, we've had 1/4 of an inch of rain. So this is a very drought tolerant tree or shrub once it's established. Now, what do I look for in a ripe fig? It's very important to pick figs when they're fully ripe. So these are Desert King figs. These are some nice ones for the kitchen, and these look a little nastier, but they're actually very sweet and delectable. So even though it's a little dark looking and soft inside, it's just going to be wonderfully sweet. And so they should be very soft. That's what you want to look for in ripening. And even though they might be a little discolored, they might even start to split a little bit. That's a sign of a really sweet, ripe fig when they look like that. One thing I look for then for when to harvest a fig is to find figs that are hanging straight down and very soft to the touch. And they should be hanging straight down and very soft to the touch. When you pluck them off then from the stem, there shouldn't be any white latexy sap oozing out of the plucked end. If it's a little split at the bottom, that's okay. But if you pluck it off and you see white latexy sap, you know, the figs are actually in the rubber tree family, so they have this white latexy sap, which can be a bit of an irritant too. You don't want to handle it too much. But the white latexy sap oozing from the plucked end is a sure sign of an unripe fig. So you might as well toss it. It's not going to taste good. Figs have to be dead ripe in order to taste good. If we look closely at the branches, at the branch tips, you can see each branch end has little tiny figs starting to develop. Right there, there's one. Right there, there's one. Right there, there's one. These are next summer's figs. So these fig trees in this particular variety, Desert King, is taking advantage of 2 growing seasons. That's why a tree from the Middle East is actually able to ripen here in cool western Washington in the foothills of the Cascades, because it's taking advantage of 2 summers. These started to develop, a fig like this started to develop like this, started to develop last summer, and the branch ends. So you want to encourage as many branch ends as possible. The best way to do that is to prune them in the summertime. Like June is probably the optimal month. That way we don't let them get too tall, and you have lots of branch ends. Each one will have, 3 or 4 or 5 ripe figs the following summer.